You are tuned in to What Up Baltimore online radio. Please note that the views and opinions expressed on this channel are of the host and not of LadyJMedia. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, What Up Baltimore TV. And if you really don't want to miss any of the shows, hit that notification bell and you'll get a message every time we come on. Now, we got it from here, so sit back, relax, and stay tuned.
Matter of fact, you can't go through it once you go back in it. Matter of fact, you don't go back in it unless you go back in it over and over again, because it's like a revolving door that keeps saying, hey, come visit me. Even when you're doing good, you might get in a drive-by or a shootout, and even if you're the victim, you're still going to jail because your past criminal record and you weren't supposed to be near a gun or bullet or even almost dying. So although you survived, sir, we need to tell you you have the right to remain silent. Because you won't give us all the information that we need to know about when you almost died. But we're not concerned about that part. We want to know who was shooting out of your car when the other people were shooting at your car. We know it was someone shooting, even if it wasn't you. Who was it? So then there's that moment where I gotta decide, is do or die now. Do I keep it a G? Or I decide I don't want to ride now. I don't want to be street no more. I'm in a situation where I got 30 years over my head, and if this dude get me locked up, it won't be no more. So then there's that moment where I decide that I won't snitch, and I hold it down, and I keep strong to the street code, even though the streets don't love me. In fact, the streets might kill me. In fact, the streets might be the reason why I got this gun anyway. And then there's this moment where I realize it's all or nothing.
Good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Lady J. I am here with this beautiful woman on the screen. Her name is Asabi, and we're going to get going talking to Asabi in just a few minutes. But before we get started, I always ask y'all, Asabi, do I look like I'm sideways like this, or
no? You regular.
Mm-hmm. I just want to make sure, because for some reason it looks like maybe my head is feeling heavy. I don't know what it is, but it's like I'm looking at the screen and I feel like my head is going like this.
No.
I just want to make sure ain't no shenanigans going on over
no,
here.
You straight now. I'm gonna tell you. Now, if you look at crooked, I'm gonna tell you now. No, you straight.
Because the thing is, I stepped on my glasses, so I'm over here like I'm really struggling. I got my contacts in, but I need my my little readers. But anyway, y'all, so tonight I'm just so excited to have Asabi on. My name is Dr. Lady J. This is What Up Baltimore. For those of you who don't know about the show and this is your first time tuning in, welcome. I had to put some diamonds in the background for my girl because she is a diamond, okay? So we had to get the diamonds rolling for her. But this show is for people who were formerly incarcerated, those who are still inside, those who are coming home. It's for their families. It's just a safe place. Let me get the microphone together. It's just a safe place for people to come to be able to talk. It's a no judgment zone. We're not here to really focus on what they did in the past. We talk a little bit about it, but then we're trying to encourage them and learn about what they're doing as they go into the future. So I want to welcome Asabi on the show tonight, because y'all got to hear her story. She's an amazing woman. I actually met her through Joyce Butler. Thank you, Miss Joyce. for sending great people my way. And so I would listen to her and Joyce talk on Joyce's show. Joyce does a show called The Conversation with Joy B on What Up Baltimore. And I would always like, normally I'm in the background doing something, but every time Asabi comes on, I'm like, oh man, this lady is so powerful. I got to talk to her. And when she mentioned that she had been incarcerated, I'm like, no, you know how you be like, no, what? So I just figured I gotta get you on. Let's talk about it. You are a beautiful young woman. I've been trying to get a woman on here to just come on and say, this is what happened. And you know, you're a beautiful young black woman. And we're gonna get started. Asabi, welcome. You've been on my other shows, but welcome to What Up Baltimore, where we talk with people who have come home and they're doing great.
Wow, I am nervous.
Girl,
I don't know why.
you like I tell everybody, you got to just act like we at home in my living room, and we are just we're in my, you know what, we're in my den right now. This is where I do all of my creative stuff. So we're just in my den. This is you and me. We in the den. We
all right. Let me shake it.
Look, I even got a cup of Chick-fil-A over, you know. So we just home. We just chilling. We home. We just talking. Don't worry about it.
All right.
But yeah, tell us who Asabi is, and you know, tell us a little bit about you. Are you in Baltimore? Like, you know, where you are and all of that.
So yes, I'm gonna start a little backwards and as I reveal who is Asabi. And you know, you and Miss Joyce are the two people that are constant and consistent, and that acknowledges my attribute the way that you two do. And you got to know that that means so much to me.
Right.
Because I've explained, I've sat down, I've talked about what the power in a name, and speaking to my purpose. So who is Asabi? I am of choice birth. I was chosen the day that I was born for this moment right now, today. And that's who I am.
Right.
I've served 22 years in the Maryland Correctional Institution for Women and Patuxent Institution for Women.
Wow.
At the beginning, I was fairly young, so what they did was got me into Patuxent Institution for Women, which is a therapeutic program that isn't contracted by the state, where they concentrate on your mental health, where there is an extensive amount of therapy. Let's just say that, where you are talking from anything that you could remember from way back when you were born up into the point of your incarceration. That's where I did most of my maturing and my growing up, because I was young coming in. So being young and going in prison, I still had that I figured it out. I still had that mentality that what I want to do, the way that I want to do it, how I want to do it. I cultivated that on the street, and I took that in as a way to survive. But then I learned, when you find yourself in those dark places, when you find yourself having those questions in there, like where's
I'm sorry, hold on 1 second, because my there we go. I'm sorry. My other computer screen popped on. Sorry about that.
No problem. So yeah, I probably was going too far out anyway, and I needed to get willed back in. But so yeah, just it's important for me to challenge myself to talk about the fact that I have served 22 years in prison, and I have seen a lot in prison. I have done a lot in prison, and it's important because at one time I was ashamed. At one time, I didn't think that people would be receptive to me because I grew up in prison. They're not going to understand my language. They're not going to see me for who I am. And one of my good friends always tell me, just keep living. And I realized the more that I live, the more that I learn. And I realized that I'm always in my own way. It really isn't people. It was me.
Right.
And so coming out of prison after enduring that, because many people don't want to hear about your prison life because they think you're glorifying it. But I'm saying, for someone like me, prison kind of saved my life. It got my attention, because there was, when I was young, there was no one sitting down with me telling me that you are a young woman. There was no one telling me that, yeah, go to school, but no one's telling me why I need to go to school, what to do with the information. And I want to believe that I was a smart and an intelligent and bright young lady. But guess what? School really didn't do it for me. I became I wasn't interested in it anymore. Sort of like after middle school, I just did, but nobody was around to like motivate me or to keep pushing me or to tell me why this journey, this part of my journey is important. All that is a factor. And I take, as an adult, as a woman today, I take full responsibility, but you can't hold me to understanding or walking into something or making a decision on information I know nothing about, because no one has had the conversation. So when you are in prison, a young woman like myself growing up in prison, you got to definitely make a decision, a conscious decision, if you want to change your mindset, if you want to change the way that your life is going, because you can go anywhere on the face of the universe and you still gonna be who you are. You gonna still find wherever it is that you want to attract, you're gonna find it, no matter where you go.
Let me ask you this. So you said you were in for 22 years, right? How old were you when you went in?
18.
You were 18. Wow. So what about high school? Did you graduate? Were you able to graduate high school, or did you have to do that while you were inside?
I obtained my GED while I was in prison.
Wow. Wow. And how about family members? Because I'm going to get back to something that you said, but how about family members with you being incarcerated? How was that? Having their support.
I have so this is always a tough question for me to kind of answer, because family for me isn't what people think that it really is supposed to be. And I've learned pretty quickly how to appreciate what I have. Real fast. I learned that real quick. It never took much for me to learn. You expose it to me, and if it works for me, I'm going to try it out. So I'm not one of the ones. So I have my immediate family. You know what I mean? That core. But guess what? They had their own lives. They did their own thing. And I could never be upset or angry at anyone who chose different than me. I have an older sister. I love my older sister because she is the one that kind of nurtured me and kind of reared me. And even in my prison experience, the one thing that she has never ever done was judge me. From when I was younger up into going to prison, and growing up in prison, the one thing that she has always demonstrated for me was unconditional love. That was the first person who exposed me to that. And I guess once she learned it and once she exposed it for herself, she was able to give that to me in a place like that, and I received it. And then in turn, when I meet people, I matched it to that, because her kids, I left her children, my niece and my nephew, when they were young. They knew me, they remember me, and they journeyed with me the whole step of the way, and never once judged me, and never once looked at me any differently. And I compare that to all the experiences that I had from growing up and then being in prison and feeling like you're doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do, but it doesn't fit the standard of the collective. But these group of people are who demonstrated that from a distance. So I'm definitely blessed. But I just was in a position where I wanted different. Even when I didn't know I wanted different. And God just allowed me to experience that from a distance, because my sister don't live in the state. Her son in the Navy. her daughter lives in the city, so everybody is spread apart, but yet they still was able to give me that.
So let me backtrack a little bit because 18, like I said to some of the other brothers that have been on, and I know one brother that I interviewed, he went in at 15. Um and what was it like when those doors shut behind you at 18 and you knew that you weren't coming back home for a while?
I wasn't ready for that question. This is the kind of question that lets me know that indirectly I like to be in control. You know, I like to be transparent, so I'm just telling the truth. Fear. Immediately.
Yeah.
If I never knew what it felt like, if I never had an idea growing up of what it looked like, that moment, I seen it, I felt it, I smelt it, I held it for a very long time. Fear,
wow,
abandoned. I felt alone for the probably like to really in my heart. The first time I probably thought that this was it, if that makes sense. Yeah. Wow.
Because the reason I was asking you that, Asabi, is because I used to go down to the cut, down in Jessup, and I volunteered down there for like 12 years straight. Every weekend I was there. One particular weekend, the guards changed shift and forgot we were coming out, and we got caught in the visiting area waiting for somebody to come and get us. I think that was the most, like, I was so afraid because it's so noisy in there. It's like noise, the smell, the not being able to open a window. It was a terrible feeling, and I was only in there for maybe a couple hours, before and because when we went to try to use the phone in the visitors room, it was cut off. So, some of the people that were in my group, like, it was about 20 of us, they were having a fit. We were in the men's facility though, so the men were having more of a fit than we were, because they was like, we gotta make sure we got our ID on this and all of that, because they didn't want to get caught up in there. But it was just that feeling of being in there, and I remember at that moment thinking, I cannot imagine just like being in here for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. Like, that moment was really scary for me. That's why I was asking you that question as a female, like, how did it feel once you walked in there?
So yeah, it's scary, indeed. But again, it didn't take me no time to for my survival mode to kick in. It didn't take no time for that. But this is it. You go through different transitions emotionally, psychologically. And I'm still in I'm still recovering. I'm still in my recovery process. Yeah. And as I speak, the more that I speak, I'm healing, and I'm letting it out. Just to understand the mind of someone who has been incarcerated for 22 years. A lot of things I learned through trial and error. Even throughout my whole childhood and going in prison and doing all the things and I've accomplished a lot I've accomplished a lot in prison. But even in all of that, there is still psychological challenges that in different phases and in different times in my life where we don't have enough time to talk about or address. But just understand that there is a certain level of development that takes place. And most people think, I was fooled to think that your mind psychologically stops at the age that you are when you were, when your trauma first happened. But that's not necessarily true. As long as you make a decision to exercise your brain muscles, you will develop and you will grow. And I
Mhm.
did that. I did that for so long. I let people, I'm saying while I'm in prison, while people are pouring into me and cultivating me, I'm believing this falsehood that because I'm in prison, I have to be held on a lower standard and I can't elevate
Right. Right.
psychologically or emotionally because I got caught
Mhm. Mhm.
and
Mhm.
somebody else didn't. And so now I am I'm saying now, this is my therapy. Now I am unpacking those lies because they were lies, because it's impossible for me to be right here in this moment to freely talk about what I've been through.
Exactly.
Healed.
Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
saying healed. Because there is a lot of trauma. I've been through a lot while in
Mhm.
prison.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm saying this is more for me and my healing journey than it is for anybody else. And my prayer
Yeah.
is that someone mind changes of how they see men and women who are incarcerated, because we're human. We're human. We're human
Mhm.
before
Mhm.
anything. And
Right.
sometimes my hope and my prayer is that we can become less judgmental and begin to develop relationships, get to know your own family. Like
Mhm.
there's people in my family that I desire that get to know who I am today, not that little girl, because when you see me, I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
to know the woman that I am today. You will be blessed. But guess
Mhm.
what? I ain't got time for nobody that don't want to journey alongside of me because you're still holding on to a narrative from in my teenage years. And
Right.
so it's like you deal with all these things psychologically and emotionally and spiritually, you don't know what you're going to believe. Is God
Right.
real? Because
Mhm.
you're taught so many different languages in prison. Now, I didn't roll with the best of them as it relates to religion. I've practiced a few of them wholeheartedly. And so there's really not, I studied the Bible. I went to a Bible college. So there's
Mhm.
really, as far as the word, I can be taught, but I'm saying the what I feel like have been missing in my life is just application.
Yeah.
Application. Instead of paying attention to what I've done, show me what I can do so that I won't do it again.
Again. Right. Right.
Or here's one better. Just be present and
Mhm.
support me and ask me what is it that I can do for you. But we won't have these kind of conversations because we are drawing a line and we're seeing ourselves as being different. So now we have these labels: formerly incarcerated man and woman, or ex-con, or ex-offender, or all these different titles that sounds fancy. But I'm
Mhm.
saying it's a power in the name, because with those labels comes expectations, and you
Right.
expect for me to make a mistake and go back.
Mhm. Mhm.
Every time you say
Yeah.
ex-con, or every time you say formerly incarcerated, you're reminding me of
Mhm.
where I came from. Don't you think I remind myself, or I am
Yeah.
reminded, because I'm trying to adjust in a society that is so foreign to me. And I'm
Mhm.
saying from my heart, just listen, because I don't see through the lenses that you see from.
Right.
It's
Right.
impossible to do so. And so I'm always, my energy, my spirit is always saying, please get to know me and ask me questions, because I assure you, God put you in my way for a reason, for you to help me, because I'm trying to figure it out.
Right.
But
Right.
people outside our community is just so,
Yeah. And I think, we have to, I think we're getting better, Asabi. I think that we have to do more shows, and we have to, now there's a lot of events that are going on to really help people who don't understand, and to help people who do have a problem. There are ways, and if they don't get the information, shame on them, because you can't make people do things. But I think we have to do more shows like this, and we have to have more people come to the forefront, to sit down and have conversations to talk about it, because you have no idea how some of the silly stuff that I hear. Like I might say, I remember the Delmont player was on my show a few weeks ago. And so Delmont had to go to court, and I was, talking to a couple people. I'm like, pray for this brother, blah, blah, blah. He's going to court. And somebody said to me, Lady J, well, why are they letting him out? I said, well, what if the judge feels like it's okay, and he's ready to come out, like, why do you have a problem with it? And they said, I just think when people do that crime, like, they just need to do the whole time, like, lock them up, throw away the key. So we had a very interesting conversation. And then the person says, well, what you going to do when he gets out? You will actually go see him in person? I said, yeah, if I get a chance to. You not scared? I said, I'm more scared of the people walking outside out here than I am with the ones coming out. But there's a fear of, people who are coming out. There's a fear of being around them, and I think we have to change that narrative and help people to understand, like you sitting here, beautiful Black woman, if you never said I was incarcerated, watch how people treat you. Once you say,
I've already seen it. I've already experienced it.
Right, exactly.
I've already experienced it. But listen, I'm not even mad at those that are fearful. I'm not mad at that. Everybody has their own process. And all of us, have that thing that, let me back up. Give me a minute. I'm not concerned, and I'm not mad. The only thing that I could do for that person, because they're always watching. They're always watching. They're always ready on an edge for you to slip and fall, so they could say, I told you so. What I would say to those people is, I appreciate you, because it's those chatters that, they do hurt. Make no mistake about it. It is really disrespectful. Especially when it's a man or a woman who has had that kind of experience, that kind of trauma, because that's what it is. It's disrespectful. And because we can't fault you for what you do not know, because we don't want you to fault us for what we do not know. We got to just let you see that there is a difference, that God even goes into the prisons. Like I'm saying, now this is where faith.
There's a scripture in the Bible about it.
This is where God comes up for me, where he wells up in my belly, because if we're saying God is sovereign and he shows up, can any good thing come out of prison? Because that's the same thing they said about Jesus. Can any good thing come out of that? That's the same thing they said about him. And so for those people, I don't verbally always say it. I just walk it. I just demonstrate it. And I'm not doing it intentionally. I'm doing it because this is the walk that I'm choosing consciously. I'm making a conscious choice to walk this walk in my purpose and my calling, not because of what somebody else is telling me. At one time, it used to be that way. But today, I control the narrative. I control my movement, my decisions. I'm well aware of that. And so that's why I'm not, I don't back away from those kind of conversations or even those kind of people, because you have your right to feel how you feel and think how you think and believe how you believe. But I assure you that there is a lot of those kind of attitudes that have ended up in prison and still have that kind of attitude in prison.
Right. I'm just
and
I want to I want to thank you, as I do with everybody. First of all, I want to thank you for being so transparent and so real, so raw, because that's what this show is about. Y'all do me a favor, those of you who are watching and enjoying the show, if you know at least 3 people that you can tag in the show, especially if it's a young person, young female, that's been going through, maybe just coming home or maybe about to go in, I need y'all to tag parents so the parents can be watching these shows and hear these stories. And then I just need you to share it because we want to get the word out. We got to change the narrative. And we also have to make sure that we support when people come home. Also, we're going to be taking phone calls in about maybe what time is it? Maybe in about 6 or 7 minutes. We're going to be taking phone calls. So there's a number on the screen. Don't try to call it now because the phone is off. Because I know how y'all do. So the phone is not on. So don't try to line up. The phone is off right now. I'm going to turn it back on in about 6 or 7 minutes. Now I'm going to also go to our comments because Asabi, the comments are rolling in, and I don't want people to think that I'm ignoring them. I do see your comments, and we're gonna go back a little bit. If you have comments or questions for Asabi, I'm gonna go ahead and read them, and you can put them in the comments. Also, get your questions or comments ready for when we open the phone lines. Asabi, there's also people who are inside right now who are listening to you. They listen every week. They call in through their family member's phone and they listen to the show. So I wanted you to know that a lot of people are listening to you. And again, thank you, sister, for coming on. I've been looking forward to this interview. And y'all, another thing, scrolling at the bottom of the screen, I need you to help with the show. Your Cash App donations make a huge, huge difference. Every time I do a show, somebody is sending me a message, Lady J, can you please reach out to my son, my husband, my daughter, whoever is incarcerated. And we reach out through the tablet. Sometimes they do call me. These things have to be paid for, and I'm paying for them out of my pocket. But I would like for the community and the village to join in. So the Cash App is $LadyJFlava. Anything you give is nothing too big or too small. It's also going to go to help those who are in need. There's a drive that's coming up. I believe it's going on now until the end of the month. And I told the sister that I'm gonna try to gather up some money so I can give a donation. They want to get clothes and shoes and stuff for children. So I'm gonna try to gather up some money. So yeah, if y'all want to donate, remember this, everybody. A lot of people that are incarcerated, they have family members who are on the outside who do send them money. And these family members also need assistance sometimes. And they need funds as well. So we want to do whatever we can, whatever little bit we can to help out. So $LadyJFlava is the Cash App, and I do appreciate it. Now let's get to the comments. We got Dr. Eric Holmes, and I'm going to talk about him in a few minutes because he's an author, and we talked about his event coming up for authors. It's coming up in a few weeks, and if you're an author, you need to make sure you go to it. We got Miss Lynette is on here. Miss Lynette, we still praying for you. Her husband's been incarcerated for about 40 years. Miss Lynette been hanging in there with him. Tanya Flower says, good evening, Lady J. Hello, Asabi. We got Miss Van Green. Hello, beautiful ladies. She said, hey, sis. Um, she said, hello, beautiful. Just love, love, love this queen's energy. I met her at the Cultural Arts Center. That's from Miss Van. We got Tanya Martin. Hey, good evening, Tanya. Hey, Hamza. We got Hamza. Well, he has on here Willie Hamza. I call him Hamza. He's been on the show before too. I think he was incarcerated for about 30 years. And y'all don't hit me. If I took some years away, please. This is my, I'm trying to remember as best I can. And we got Miss Lakeisha. Let's see. Alvin Reeves was on here a couple weeks ago. He came home last year, I believe. He said blood is not defined by blood. It's somebody who has your back throughout all of the bull crap. I totally agree. We got Stephen Copeland. We praying for Steve. Steve goes to court next month. He said, good evening, Queens. Hamza says, what kind of resources do you need? You want to answer that now? What kind of resources do you need?
So I come bearing resources, but I do need resources. So we'll talk about that off.
Okay.
line, but I'm coming to bring to present resources. But I
Got
do
you.
need resources, but I would like to talk about that off.
Okay, got you. No problem. We got William Watson, who will be on now. This man, when he sent me his bio, I'm like, sir, you know, y'all just make sure you tune in the next couple of weeks to hear his story. He said, "Hey, Charlene, Dr. Lady J Jenkins, I love your show. Thank you so much. I appreciate it." Alvin says a lot of families don't get the support. Oh, I'm sorry, no, a lot of females don't get the support that men get. You wanna speak on that?
Um, that is true. I mean, that's just the truth, and we all know it. We see it every day.
Mm-hmm.
We see it. I'm never one to say this is this side and this is this side to put us against each other. However, we have to understand, in order for us to unite, the men and women, to see ourselves as equal, so that we can get that which is that the next person is getting, is understanding that the need that the man has is going to be different than
Mm-hmm.
the need of the woman. And for whatever reason, and we all have our own isms and theories of
Mm-hmm.
why this is so for women, but the women lack the resources because there's this thing where women should know better. So everything is designed to meet the need of the male counterpart.
Wow. Wow.
If you just look at the way life is, period, it is like that. So why prison wouldn't be set up, and the resources that come with prison, why wouldn't it be set up like that too? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's the mentality of the country that we live in. You are a woman, you should know better. So when
Mm-hmm.
I built this, I did not build this with you in mind. So now you doing the same thing, and now we got to build, and now we got to fit you in. And so now the women just get the bottom of the barrel. We don't get the same thing. However, hold up. Sometimes for some people, it's just about connection and
Mm-hmm.
get into a place, because this is where the mind shift changes from now looking at, oh, the men get this support and all that, to what do you get? And then
Mm-hmm.
when you figure it out, and now that you figure it out, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to keep it to yourself, or are you going to share it? And so that is the difference. When the men get information, they share it.
Mm-hmm.
They share
Mm-hmm.
it. They are unselfish. They cannot like you. They cannot want to deal with you. You from over there and I'm from over here. But if there is information that can benefit the collective, they will work together.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to women, we will get the information and suffocate ourselves with it, because we don't want that sister to get it before me, or have it figured out before me, instead of us just working together. And so I've just been blessed to be able to work with men.
Mm-hmm.
Men started the cultivation, my transformation in prison. It was men who seen me not as an object, who seen me as a woman, as a young Black woman, and was like, you have too much potential to be acting like this. You got purpose.
Mm-hmm.
They begin to speak to me. And the more they
Right.
spoke to me, and I started, being a woman, a female, young at that, like, oh yeah, they like me. But they wasn't with none of that. They
Mm-hmm.
wanted me to
Mm-hmm.
grow. They wanted me to start thinking. And so the first kite I got, it was like asking me all these questions. And then came a book. And then came homework.
Mm-hmm.
Then came
Mm-hmm.
another book. Then came homework. And so I'm making a decision all along to change my mindset. So now
Mm-hmm.
I got to figure out what it is as a woman do I need. Most of us
Right.
don't even know what we need.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We don't. It's the same across the board. I don't care if you incarcerated, been incarcerated, or none. Because if the truth be told, a lot of us out here in society has been incarcerated psychologically for a very long time.
Well, they say that you can be in prison in your brain. You lock your own self in chains. I'm not saying you, but we can lock our own selves in chains, and we can be in the free world. but it's all about your mindset. And that's why I love what you said, that you took it upon yourself to really start making a change and looking at you and realizing that you had to make a difference. Delmont Player says, there's a question I always I always get I always got, and I want to ask the sister the same. Was it worth it, the trade-off?
What I don't understand. What's the trade-off? I can
I don't
assume what they talk about, but
Yeah, I don't know what the trade-off
I
is,
can't
but
answer because I
let's
don't
go
know what the
with
trade-off is.
and I know what you're going to say. Was it worth it? Like, what got you in there? Was it really worth it?
I ain't know what worth was. I
Yeah.
had nothing. I knew
Hmm.
nothing. I was lost. I was broken. I was confused. Like, I'm telling you, I am grateful for this lived experience because
Hmm.
I was dying. I'm talking about internally, and
Hmm.
nobody knew it because nobody was listening to me. That's how I got caught up. I always was aware for some reason of
Hmm.
how I felt and what I knew when people were doing stuff to me that it was wrong. I knew when I was unloved because I didn't want it. I didn't like it. I knew when I was being abused. I knew it, but nobody will listen. And so when you grow up with all that inside of you, you're not thinking about was it worth it because you don't got nothing. You feel like you are the scum of the earth. I'm just talking about my story. I don't know about nobody else's story. I'm only talking about mine. But then the real question when I sit with that, because I have a twin. I have a
Okay.
twin brother. And when I sit with that and I really think about it, I lost 22 years that I could never get back.
Hmm. Hmm.
Time with my sister, time with my niece and family, people that cousins. Like, I missed out on a lot. There's a lot of what ifs that I would
Hmm.
never be able to experience because people are gone. My grandfather, whom I loved so dearly, was not able to see the woman that I became, that I
Hmm.
believe he believed I could be. There,
Right.
it's just so much, but you don't
Now,
think about that.
so were your parents involved in your life growing up? Because I hear you saying a lot that nobody was listening. Were they actively involved in your life?
So in the, I'm a published author, so I reveal a lot. I realize a lot of my writing, my mother is in it.
Hmm.
I'm healed from those. I don't have mommy daughter issues anymore. I am healed from that, and all is forgiven. But I reveal things and taking full accountability for my part.
Hmm.
But the truth of the matter is, I understand as a woman, as an adult, my mother did the best that she
Yes, you
could
could.
with
Right.
what she
Hmm.
had. And I
Hmm.
do not fault that for I do not, as a woman, because I'm removing the label and the expectation. I'm
Right.
removing the label, the mother, and the expectation that you're supposed to do X, Y, and Z. I'm
Hmm.
removing that because that is what keeps us healthy. And
Hmm.
that is what enables me to see her as a human being. But the little girl in me is devastated.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
little girl in me, the only thing the little girl in me always wanted was my mother to hug me and
Hmm.
love me and tell
Hmm.
me that I'm proud of you.
Hmm.
Not
And
all
you
the
know,
other stuff.
right. And you know what? The thing is, I love what you said. I think I can't remember who it was that was on here not too long ago. And they said, I think it was Delmont Player who said the same thing about his parents. And it takes a lot to get to that point in life where you say to yourself, you know what? I know they loved me and they gave me the best that they could, you know? There are a lot of people who want their parents to hug them, but their parents didn't grow up getting hugs. They want their parents to say, I love you because they hear other parents saying it, but nobody ever said it to them. And so that's why it's important to have these kinds of conversations for people who are having children, or maybe you're in the process of raising your children, to help you to understand the importance of doing certain things. Let me read this comment real quick from Van. She said, when I first got the job behind those walls, I felt like I was lost, fearful, and afraid. Almost needless to say, why am I here? What did I sign myself up to? And as time went on, I got the chance to realize who I was, and the time of being around people who made mistakes made me see life much different. But I realized how they were being mistreated, it made me wiser, of how important it is to never mistreat people, because nobody should ever be treated as such. Thank you, Van. She was actually, I think she's retired from being a corrections officer. Delmont Player says people hear what they don't understand. So let's continue to show them how it looks. Oh, I love this. Let's continue to show them how it looks until they are ready to sit down and get an understanding. That is powerful. William Watson said, God bless this sister for her courage, transparency, and resilience. Um, uh, Miss Joyce says, hey, Dr. J. Hey, daughter. Love you both. We got Miss Lynette. She, excuse me, Miss Lynette said this platform is so needed because speaking with someone like this young woman can change mindsets. Absolutely. Hey, Kim, how are you? Kimberly Jones. Um, Stephen Copeland says women normally are the ones that carry the torch, keeping the family grounded and rooted. I think he was referring to when you were talking about the expectations for women. Delmont says the trade off is what came out of the situation, the pain, but
Yes.
the results. Yeah. Yeah. That's what he's talking
I
about.
got you. I got
That's
you.
what he's
So
talking about.
let's talk about that though.
Okay.
Let's get into that. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Let's get into that
Miss
straight
Joyce
up.
says, she says, daughter, my love, nothing you've been through has been wasted. We have, I hope I'm saying your name right, Koyana,
Koyana.
Kayana,
Koyana.
Koyana. Hey, Lady J, I'm so proud of you. Asabi, I told you people are gonna love you tonight. I missed somebody. Dr. Lady J, I'm on Praise 106.1 Saturday, April 29th. I'm going to send you Mr. Leonard's phone number. I have told him about you. Okay, this is for me. This ain't my night. This is Sabi's night. But thank you. I'm gonna go back and look at that question though. Thank you so much. We got Steve. I hear a lot of our lost generation on what you just said. Our children need to be heard and not just seen. Our children need a voice to speak out on. He said, so true, Queen. I grew up without a father. I refuse to allow my children to feel the pain that I felt. And one thing I'll say about Steve, he is an awesome father. Like his children are amazing. We got Kemp Earl. Kemp Earl is another one that came home, I think, like 3 or 4 years ago. Kemp is doing, I need to interview Kemp. He's just doing amazing stuff right now. He
No,
said,
that's
hey
right.
there, sis. Stay focused. He says, stay focused, Asabi. So yeah, let's go back to what Delmont said. And y'all get ready because I'm about to open the phone lines. Don't forget to Cash App $LadyJFlava. Also, I need you to share this show because we need to inform people and they need to see the beautiful people that are on this show. So go ahead, Asabi.
So remember, at the beginning, I said this is therapeutic for me. This is a part of my reentry process.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Me, unpacking and being bold and being courageous enough when the
Right.
space is created for me to do so. Because being transparent is just giving information away freely. And so I choose to give my information away freely because I know that there's someone, all the things, was it worth it? The trade-off, everything that I went through, I recognize that somebody on the other end was waiting for me because
Mm-hmm.
now I'm learning today that the overflow that I give out of is the provision that God have already made for somebody else. So all my
Mm-hmm.
tears and all that pain and all that suffering, I went through it. Some days I walked out of it. Some days I crawled out of it. And some days I ran out of it. But nonetheless, there were movements. I used my real life experiences and I introduced them to the world, because I recognize that some of us need a step A, a step B, and a step C. So let's fast forward to the trade-off. I'm home. I go to Annapolis. I'm speaking down in Annapolis. I'm speaking on hearings, representing bills, and I'm looking all, cute and fitting in. And one day I just realized that ain't for me. I don't want to do that. And so I'm feeling confused and I'm feeling empty. And now I'm in a program doing this work. I'm in a program and I'm telling these people I'm losing it. This ain't, I need some help. It ain't doing it. And a friend of mine I vented to, and they fast forward, I'm introduced to Pivot. And I show up in this particular program. We're talking about women getting the opportunities that were incarcerated, that has that stigma over them. And so I meet this young lady, the executive director. And then I believe I shared this story, but this is important because I don't know who's listening and I don't know who doesn't have the resource, but I'm telling you that I am a testament of what Pivot does in the city of Baltimore for women who are in this space. I didn't know when I showed up. I'm like, I'm not with no program. Like I could create a program just like this. I'm not with it. But they still, they wasn't turned off. They ain't turned me away. They like, give us a try. And so I sat there, and it was like the more I came back, I just sat there and I began to listen, and my mind began to change. And I realized that the thing that I was missing was that real freedom. That real freedom.
Yeah.
I was missing that because my thinking, my definition and my thinking was one way, but now I'm sitting in this workshop that's supposed to develop me for workforce, but they are developing me spiritually. I'm like, nobody's going to get this because this is for me. This is for me. This is only for me to look at this like this, because God knows how to deal with me. And so the more they talking and the more I'm letting go and I'm shutting off that thinking, even the stuff that I learned in prison, I'm realizing the more that I showed up that the survival mode, the tools that I learned while I was in prison, I can't use them out here. This is a different kind of beast.
It's a different world.
So I got to learn some stuff. But the more I was shedding, this particular experience, this program was feeding me. I was shedding, and they were giving me tools. They were refreshing me. And now I'm the reentry manager for Pivot Workforce Development, where we go into the prison, where we go into the jail, where we do reach back in to help that woman who feels like she cannot get a breakthrough because of her criminal background, because her past is determining her future. Come on over to Pivot, because I am a testament that their mission statement is real, because they looked at me and I got a job. I went through the program and they got me employed, but I wasn't happy. And so then the opportunity came and they gave me the invitation, took me out to lunch and sat down with me and gave me options and told me, if this is not for you, don't take it. And I continued to listen. And I was like, oh, this is a no-brainer. And so because I wanted out of where I was at. And I took the job and I started off as a personal success coach. And then the more I worked and the more they seen me and the more they were cultivating me and pouring into me, now not only am I a personal success coach, but now you want to upgrade me and make me the reentry manager. And then I'm recognized that I was, all the while I was in prison, I was developing for this. I was developing for this. And I had my own idea of how my life would look like. And I tell you, this ain't it. I'm telling you, this space isn't it. But guess what? God had put me in this room, this room with these men and these women. Well, one man then and two women. And I've been with them ever since because they live and breathe the principles of accountability and responsibility. They're not going to enable you. They're not going to feed into you, but what they will do is hold you accountable. And that's what they did for me. And so now it's only right that I give what was given to me the way that it was given to me. It's now we are creating opportunities. I'm deciding to be on the other end of the spectrum. I don't want to keep talking about what is missing for women. I want to become or create the thing that is missing. So let's change the narrative. I'm choosing the side of the conversation I now want to be on because I have that right. Now let's develop. Let's create more because there's many platforms out here that is in the position of helping men and women, but mainly women in this reentry space. And Pivot is definitely one of them. I definitely, and this platform, I don't think you remember, but when I first came home, this was the very first platform I came on. The very first platform. Are so well written. I'm so impressed with the help you have. Continue to keep. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if we fell off, if you listening, but I'm just going to keep talking because that's just what I do. And so I'm going to plug my commercial in real quick. I am a published author. It Takes One to Know One, coming soon. You can find me on Facebook, Pushing Forward. You can find me on IG, People Pusher 2. Follow me for more details. No, I can't see you or hear you. You're kind of breaking up, but your screen is dark.
You keep talking. I'll be back on.
All right, I was just plugging my little commercial in.
You keep talking, Asabi. I'll be back on.
Oh, okay. So yes, again, I'm just asking that you all support me. It is with the push and the help of the Ladies League of Baltimore City. Yes, I love them women. They are amazing. They did not even know that as they were challenging me, I was actually doing the work and they did not know about it. Our chapter director still gets on me today because the whole time we were going through beast mode and we were saying all these things that we're going to do and we showed up for morning motivation. I'm talking about my reentry space, my process, the kind of people that I have in my village. While they were motivating and while they were talking and while they were encouraging, I was doing the work and I couldn't talk about that part of the process. All the while still struggling with health issues and just life in him and people and the saying is so real and it's so true. But I'm so thankful for Pivot Workforce Development and I'm thankful for the Ladies League of Baltimore because it gives me the courage to talk about myself, something that I don't like to do because I find it kind of uncomfortable. But I'm quite sure as I push people and people continue to push me, I'll be more confident and more bold to bring my stuff to the forefront like Pusher. What is Pusher? Pusher is preparing us strategically, helping everyone regardless. I developed and initiated an organization while in prison called Victims Awareness Building Bridges Project. It was successful. Victims came in and sat across the table with those that took accountability for being victimizers, and they had the toughest conversations. I was privileged to facilitate that kind of session, that kind of workshop, and I'm just on it. I did not want to take that program out of the prison, so I decided to rebrand myself, and now I am the Pusher. I am known for grit and coaching and talking and encouraging those that I am around, even if you are a stranger. I am definitely known for having the gift of exhortation. You will not leave my presence feeling the same, I assure you, because I don't leave my own presence the same. So I am definitely intentional, but I appreciate every listener. Even though I can't read fast enough, I appreciate the comments. But I'm ready for some questions.
Listen, let me just say this, because see, Asabi, I'm about to get an attitude over here.
No,
Now,
it's,
y'all know
you know what it
every
is.
Monday night I'm doing the show, okay? Do not call my phone. Don't call me, okay? From 8, pretty much like I tell everybody from around 6 in the evening, do not call me, okay? Unless it's an extreme emergency, send me a text, because when you call, it knocks everything out over here, okay?
Oh.
Woo. I don't know. I've been saying this for I don't know how many years. Please. Okay. Please. I'm about to turn the phone on. I'm actually going to the number that I had on the screen, I'm going to take that off, because for some reason I don't know, that phone just stopped working. So I'm going to put up another number. But let's do these comments. Let's do these comments real quick, and then we're going to do some questions. Asabi, and listen, I know one thing. I knew when I had to step out for a minute that Asabi could handle this and take it over. So I wasn't really worried about that. But and take over and just, keep it going. So I was definitely not worried about that. So my sister up in Philadelphia. This is one of my bonus sisters. I'm gonna read what she says. She says, I'm hearing the echo. Sorry, y'all. She says, yes. She said the comments are well written. I am so impressed with the people you have on your show. I will definitely continue to keep all of them in prayer. Thank you so much. That's my bonus sister in Philadelphia, y'all. Charlotte, and then we got a message from Steve, and Steve is saying, what do you say? There you go, Queens. Use your real life experience in helping others.
Thank you.
And then now this is, does that say bad lady Tyra? I want to make sure I'm saying it right. She said, I've never been incarcerated, but I have family that have been, and a lot of the stories are the same, especially about women. Thank God for your testimony and making this issue known. She says, bless you. I told you you're going to bless a lot of people tonight, Asabi, a lot. We got Denise Murphy. She says, thank you so much for being transparent. I am so proud of you. We got my sister saying, Charlotte, I don't know what happened, but keep up the information. Keep up the information. It's helping us understand, I believe, if each one can reach one. Absolutely. And that's what we got to keep doing. This has to be each one. It's something that's it's something new, because I know growing up, if people were incarcerated, people really did not want to be around them, and they were not around them. That's the way they were treated. But I do love the way things are sort of changing now. We got a different generation. We got a lot of programs going on. So I do love the way that things are changing now. And it says that was Tyra, her LLOB sister.
I knew who it was.
Oh, okay.
I knew who that was.
Okay, I just want to make sure I was saying the name right now. Y'all, I'm going to actually switch over, and I'm going to change this phone number that I had on here. So get ready. I'm going to turn the phones back on. If you would like to speak with Asabi, now listen, we are in my den talking, but we ain't home, okay? It ain't that kind of party. Say what you have to say, a few seconds, because we have a lot of people that be calling in, and then we also have people that sometimes that are calling from inside. So I'm going to put this number up. Y'all, the number is going to be 443 741 64. Yeah, let's use that number. We're going to use this number, and I'm just going to put it up on the screen like this so y'all can see it. That's the number that you can call in. I'm going to get ready to turn these phones back on. Give me a second. And then if you would like to call in, give this beautiful woman some words of encouragement, show her some love, You know, Asabi, how long have you been home?
Well, oh yeah. So I've been home 3 years. Well,
Okay.
3 years and some change. August will make 4 years. And out of the years, for the first 2 years, I was in a program. And for the next half, I have been, thanks to Pivot Workforce Development, who has helped me. I got my own place. I'm tucked away. And so, yeah, it definitely feels good. I've never owned anything in my life, never had anything that was mine. And so every day that I wake up, I have something. If when my leg is killing me, you know what I've been going through, I can just look around and be like, thank you, Lord, because there was a time that I didn't have this kind of comfort. Yeah.
Congratulations on all that you've, and this is what I'm saying. This is what makes me excited, because everybody that I'm interviewing, like when y'all start talking, it's amazing how many years you spent behind that wall, but then you come out, you hit the ground running, and you're doing great things. You know, the things that you have accomplished within the time you've been home are absolutely amazing. Y'all, the calling number is 443-741-6492. If you would like to call in and say something to Asabi, the phone. Yeah, the phone.
We got a question.
Yep. Now we do have to always ask the $1 million question. See, this is like the $1 million one, because
what's the $1 million question?
You know, people, the inquiring minds want to know, and I have to ask this question. Are you in a relationship? Are you looking for a relationship? Are you open, or, you know, what's going on with that?
Listen, I am openly, freely in a relationship with a woman whom I am head over heels over. And this is a part of my healing journey, because I had never, ever said that out loud publicly to anybody at one time. I'm here to tell the truth. I want to be free. And so, in being free and being transparent means even when it's uncomfortable, even when you know people gonna look at you sideways, you still got to show up and be who you are. So the question was asked. Yes, I am free in my relationship. I am open in my relationship of exploring, and I am definitely healthy, and I am definitely happy, and I am definitely not looking.
All right. I'm telling y'all, I got to be doing something wrong, because everybody that's coming out, y'all, listen, I've been out here. But everybody coming out.
Let me slow down. I did not get in a relationship when I first came home. I didn't want to be in a relationship. I needed to be in a relationship with myself. I'm just fortunate that God just keep connecting me to the right people. Aside from the people I be choosing, but every time I choose this group of people, God will send some people to nurture, to pull me in, even when I ain't paying attention. And real fast, I learned that I had to be in a relationship with myself. It is no way in the world that I will be able to have a healthy relationship, even with you, if I did not have one with myself. And so I fell in love with myself. I began to get to know who I am, as I am still learning what I like and what I don't like. I'm still exploring. And I'm just grateful that I have someone that I can do that with, that isn't spooked out, because I'm telling you, I still got some prison isms in me. Earlier, you talked about when you went into the prison in the scent. Let me tell you something. Every now and then, the stench of prison comes across my nostrils. And guess what? I ain't back there. But I oftentimes can still smell it. I am oftentimes reminded, or sometimes I need to be reminded.
Yeah.
And so there are subtle things, nothing big, nothing major, but because I like to be aware and I like to be conscious in my own journey, I like to participate in my own process. So I am fully aware of when I am triggered. And I understand it. And guess what? I now learn to sit in it. I don't care where I'm at. I honor what I feel and what I think, even what my body goes through. I gotta honor that, because I want you to honor it.
Right. Well, we got a caller right now for you, Asabi. Go ahead, caller. Hold on. Let me make sure we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
There you go.
All right. Well, first of all, I want to congratulate you because LadyJ expressed last week that you were the first woman guest, and she's been wanting that for a long time. And as we know, we see a lot of times that women are not represented as well as far as their story and everything or getting the help in prison. So I salute you. This is J.S. Russell.
Hey,
the
Jamar.
freedom poet now.
Yes.
Yeah, the freedom poet representing the behind the wall and beyond the wall mentors. And just want to salute you and encourage you to keep on doing what you're doing. And hopefully, as I continue to work too, I'll be able to cross paths with you and we can share those resources.
All right, follow me on Instagram so you can get that book when it come out.
What's the IG?
People Pusher 2.
People Pusher 2.
Okay, I got you. I'm on it.
All right, Jamar. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, likewise.
All right. Take care. Y'all, Jamar was on the show. He was on the show. He was with us last week. You can actually go back on YouTube and look for the show. That was a really, really great interview.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, he speaks way beyond his years, but that was an excellent interview. So if y'all want to call in, we got a few more minutes. 443-741-6492 is the number. And so let's talk about your books.
So yes, I've written a book. It's called It Takes One to Know One. It is coming soon. I will link. So I'm going to give you an exclusive. I'm actually going to read a piece of it for the first time. Never did it. Wasn't going to do it. So I'm going to actually give you an exclusive. And I know that this is kind of divine for me because this platform was the first platform that I spoke on when I first came home.
Really? Oh, wow.
Right. This was the start of my journey. Like, oh yeah, I could do this. So it's only right. It's only fitting that before we close out, that I just give just a little sneak peek of what people can expect in the book. But yes, I wrote this book while I was incarcerated. It Takes One to Know One. It births from me. It's going to take me to know me. And so it's really looking at that little girl in me and trying to figure out and put into perspective what she was wounded from and where she needs to be healed at. And so I just take you through real life. And even in it's just amazing. I'm excited because now that I'm thinking back, I'm like, Lord Jesus, what did I get myself into? But it is a journey. If you are not in the place where you want to grow, and you're thinking, I wouldn't recommend you to read it because it's definitely going to challenge you to look at yourself. Because that's what I did. I'm looking at myself and I'm just inviting you in as I'm revealing the things that these difficult conversations I had to have with myself. And I'm just inviting you in and actually I'm putting you to work as I had to work. And so I don't want anyone to read anything that I write and think it's just for reading. No, you're gonna work. It's gonna penetrate something.
Right.
I want to be that known for that type of person. I don't want to just make you feel good. I don't want, all the accolades and all that is fine. But I've learned real fast, don't get caught up in your own press because the same press that cheers for you will be the same press that criticize you when you're up. I'm just grateful that I got a rock solid village. From my family, my immediate family, my best friend Shanae, the Ladies League and Pivot. I'm just and you all. I'm just so glad that I don't have a whole lot of people, but I got enough. I got enough that's just for me.
That's all you need.
That's just for me. That safeguards me, and allows me to explore while I still handle my business, while I still show up, while I still work. even now, it's hard for me to talk about my accomplishments. I don't know why, but it's really hard. It makes me go back like a turtle go in my shell when it's time for me to talk about things that I've accomplished. But yeah.
Yeah, please talk about it, because here's the thing. You're not just talking about it for you, but you blessing like so many people, with your story and everything that you're doing. Like, you're being such a blessing. And Asabi, I hope on May 25th, y'all, and this is for anybody who's an author. If you can get to this event, it's going to be on the west side at the Palladium. It's called The Power of the Pen. When I tell you the stories that you hear of people that have overcome their trauma, their pain, their nightmares, like, it is so powerful, the authors that are there at this expo speaking. And that's going to be on May 25th, 2024, from 3 to 7 p.m. So if, even if you're not an author, if you want to just show up and be inspired, this is the place to go to. They also have people there who, if you're trying to learn how to write, become an author, they have people there who can direct you on there. Like, it's a phenomenal event every year. Wow. Dr. Eric Holmes puts this event on. Last year, it was a panel of all Black men.
Oh yeah, you talked about that the last show.
Yes, I mean, they had gone through trauma, and to see where they are now, and that they're published book authors, like, it's just amazing. What God can do. I always say that it's amazing, how you can just be pushed into your purpose because of your pain, the pain that you've gone through. So I hope you can get to that. Not just you, but anybody who's writing, or, if you're interested in come out to that. We got another caller. Let's get this caller in. Go right ahead, caller.
Yeah, how you doing, LadyJ? This is Delmont.
Delmont, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm solid. I ain't got no complaints.
I know that's right.
I didn't want to call in and salute the sister. You know what I mean? Just want to salute her, let her know I respect what she's doing, and I appreciate you having her on, because, you know what I'm saying, women often seen, rarely heard, right? So I just wanted to, just salute her, tell her keep doing what she's doing. And I'm currently on another phone call. We'll really have a little bit more to say, but I'm currently on another phone call with another sister, that's still trapped behind enemy lines, named Keisha Paler. So she's actually on another phone. So, but yeah, that's one to salute the sister and tell her I respect. I'm actually on here talking about her right now, about how she putting on for the women behind the wall.
Oh wow, thank you. So, did you say that the lady you're talking to is behind the wall?
Yeah.
And Keisha Paler.
Oh wow,
I know who that is.
Oh, she said she knows. Delma, she said she knows who she is.
Oh, she know her?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So tell her Keisha salute her too.
Oh wow, yeah. Tell Keisha we're praying for her. You can give Keisha my information too. If she wants to keep in touch through the tablet, you can absolutely do that.
Absolutely.
Or get her information and send it to me. And I'm so excited and proud for what you're doing as well.
Okay. All right, that's what's up.
All right, you take care of yourself.
You take care too.
All right, bye-bye.
All right.
Yeah, I told you, it's people behind the wall that's listening, and sometimes they call in, through their family members. But see, this is amazing because, they get to live, and dream through you, because you're actually out. It gives them some hope, and it gives them something to look forward to, because you sitting here talking and being able to say all that you're doing, like, it's absolutely amazing. That's why I love this program. Y'all, you got like about 1 or 2 more minutes if you would like to speak to Asabi. Oh, I didn't see these comments. I'm sorry. Denise Murphy says, can't wait for the book. I am ready to grow. Okay. And Miss Joy said, yes, she was on my show. Yeah, I remember you coming on, but I, like I said, a lot of times when people are on, I'm busy in the background. What caught my attention was when you were on the show and you said you were incarcerated. I'm like, no, not her. Like, I'm listening to you, and you sound like you've been out for like 30 or 40 years, you know. So I'm just so proud of you, Asabi, and I'm so happy for you. She says, Joy says last year was phenomenal. And she's always talking about you all the time. So you know, going to stay up for this interview. She was going to stay up so she could watch this interview. But Asabi, I want to like really thank you so much. Your Instagram, you said it's Pusher2.
People Pusher2.
Oh, my Instagram. Go back and change that. So y'all, you can follow her on IG at People Pusher2. Go on there, show her some love.
Yes.
You know, when her book drops, make sure that you get her book, because we push everything else. You know, let's start pushing some of this positive stuff out here, you know, that people are doing. So People Pusher2, I'm gonna put this up on the screen so you all can go. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. So you all can go on her IG page and you know, show her some love. And Asabi, any last words you wanna say?
Yes, I do. I want to talk to two different kinds of people. The first people, those that a few groups of people, the people that have been affected by those that have been incarcerated, rather it was harm done to you or a loved one, or it was your loved one that is in prison, or no matter where you fit in the spectrum. Sometimes we often try to understand the mind of the other person. And I just want to do my best to encourage you to release yourself from that desire, because it's never going to happen. You have to trust yourself enough as a man, as a woman. You have to trust yourself enough to know that the decisions that you make, it will be in your best interest and the best interest of those that are attached to you. What do I mean by that? Because those that have those doubts in their minds, those conversations with your girlfriends or your homeboys about men and women who have been incarcerated, understand that bad things do happen to good people. We don't know why.
Right.
We never, science can't even prove it. We just don't know why. But all of us are challenged in some kind of way at some point in our life where we ask that question to whoever or whomever or whatever it is that you decide to believe. We are challenged sometimes in our hearts and in our minds. I just want to be the first woman to say, forgive me. Forgive me for misrepresenting womanhood. Forgive me for not knowing what to do. Forgive me. But as I ask you to forgive me, I'm asking you to just accept me or step aside. I don't mean this in a way in which to be disrespectful, but my very life is dependent upon the decision someone is making even right now. And I'm saying this to say, because I recognize that my life is not my own. Everything that I've been through, all the pain, even now, I could have given up. I could have lost my everlasting mind. I'm talking about now. I'm talking about recently being in a hospital bed with blood clots in my lungs. And now I don't know when I'm going to get up, if my leg going to fail. I'm talking about right now. I could call it quits, but yet I realized that I seen that God brought me out of a pit, a physical pit, in an internal pit. Nobody but God could bring me out of that the way that he brought, because I look unscathed. Lady J, you said it yourself. If you'd never told me that you have been incarcerated, I wouldn't have known it. That ain't nothing but God's grace that hovers in me. And so I'm just saying that let's just be careful with how we handle people because of what they got in their background, because the difference between you and I is that I decide to expose my stuff. I decide to expose myself because I'm healed, I'm delivered, I'm free. And yeah, I still got some hurt and I still got some brokenness, but I'm dealing with it. And the way that I'm dealing with it is internal. And I'm telling you that your life will be so much more freer if you just let go of the judgment. It will become so much more clear if you just let go of the criticism, because your blessing can be in the very belly of someone who is informally incarcerated. But because we're so blinded, we are so blinded that we forget that there are so many stories that's in the Bible, that is in the Quran, that is in all these different books, that there is a sign of a woman. There is, in every book, there is a sign of a woman. And now I really understand. That's why I'm choosing the side of the conversation I want to be on. I don't want to be on a conversation of complaining and pointing out what's missing. I want to be on the side where what's the solution, what we're going to do. Why? Because God brought me out of it. And I got the lived experience, and I know that it's going to take work for me to continue to develop, for me to continue to activate my faith. And so I'm talking to you, the one that still doesn't understand, the one that is feeling help. Now I'm talking to you, the one that is hopeless, the one that is feel like I don't want people to know what I've been through. And I'm telling you, when you open your mouth, it's in that's where your breakthrough will be. Yeah, I was ashamed that I was incarcerated, but I'm recognizing that the more I speak about it, it's setting me free. So I'm saying, let your truth set you free. Talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it. Do not be ashamed, because somebody else's breakthrough is dependent upon what comes out of your mouth.
Yeah, I had to jump off the screen and just let her have the screen to herself. Like no, you good. I said, let me put myself in the background and let you have the full screen, because I want them to see you. This is about you tonight. It's not about me. I want them to see you and hear you. Asabi, you are a phenomenal woman. And I'm not just saying that. You are a phenomenal woman. You are absolutely amazing. And, you know, I'm sorry for the years that you spent in prison, for things that, you didn't get, you didn't receive, that you deserve. But let me tell you something, sister. You are a powerful woman. And all that did not get, all that you wanted, God, there's a scripture in the Bible says that God will restore all the years that the locust has eaten. As you were talking, as you were speaking, as you were reading, all the things that you were doing, I'm looking at restoration. I'm just looking at how he's restored. He's restored. He's restored. And he's going to continue to restore everything, even the things that we may not talk about tonight, or that you may never talk about, aloud. God knows. And he is going to restore. I want you to understand that. And you are so, you are just so amazing. I'm always amazed at people who have lost so much, and so much time has been taken away from them, being 18 years old and sitting in a facility for 22 years and being able to come out and still talk with so much wisdom, talk with so much power, talk with so much promise. You're sitting here after 3 years of being home, inspiring who knows how many people. You are amazing. And I just want you to know that. I want you to keep being great. It's going to be people that's for you, and it's going to be people that ain't for you. And the people that ain't for you, like I said, it don't matter. God will place the people around you that's supposed to be around you. We're supposed to water each other and help each other grow. And if somebody is not watering your spirit, I'm talking to everybody now, or if there's somebody out there that's withdrawing more from you than making a deposit into your life, you need to let them go. Because ain't no way you're going to go to the bank and you want to keep putting money in there and somebody else is coming behind you taking it out, that's going to be a problem. And you got to think about the same thing when it comes to your life. Let people who are great be around you and draw from their greatness. So, I want to be one of those sisters in your circle that you can draw from. We as Black women, I'm gonna say this, we have to learn how to start building each other up more. Stop worrying about who has this, who has the most, who's going to get there. If you're going to get there before me, guess what? You ain't gonna get there no quicker than me, because of God. What God says, whatever is for me is for me. Whatever is for Asabi is for Asabi. So we can try to pull each other down all we want, but at the end of the day, you're going to get where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. So I just want to encourage you. Thank you so much for being so transparent tonight. And
before we go,
gonna be powerful. Go ahead.
Before we go, I just want to close. Can I, if you don't mind me closing with just a little excerpt from my book?
Please go right ahead. Somebody was actually asking if you could read a little bit of your book. I didn't know if you wanted to do that, but
yeah, I do. I want to give you the first exclusive.
Go right ahead.
So I wrote this while incarcerated. I'm just going to give you a little piece. It is called A Note to Self. To my 13-year-old self, from my 39-year-old self. Hey girl, what's up with you? I know. This is a bit weird, but it has to be done. I need your attention. I want you to listen, or should I say, read the words that I am composing to you for a minute. I need you to stop thinking about people, school, your mother, etc. I want you to really take this time and think about yourself. I'm talking to my 13-year-old self. You are beautiful, creative, and so intelligent. I want you to become careful about who you choose to hang out with, listen to, or even secretly desire to be like. People do not always show you who they are until a situation happens that shines a light on their true character. When people have a hidden agenda, it is hard to really see that you are not the genuine concern. I want you to know that I love you unconditionally, which means it does not matter if I agree with you or not. It does not matter if you are wrong or right, up or down. My love is concrete and it has no expiration date. I know right now you probably do not see a point in thinking about the future, but I assure you that if you do, you will start to see things change around you and in you. You have the potential to be a great leader, like the ones you see running for. Mind you, I wrote this when I was 39. The ones you see running for political offices, teachers, community activists, published authors, and the like. I see you doing so much, but you have to start making the right choices now. You have to push yourself through school, especially during times when you see no point or when no one else is pushing you. You are important, which means you have to align yourself with things and people that are important. I know you sometimes feel like no one understands and you feel alone, but I am happy that you're here with me. You're not alone, and you are not the only one who has been going through turmoil. Do not see yourself as the issue, but instead as the one who can discover a healthy solution. I love you so much and I adore you. I believe you can accomplish and achieve anything your heart desires. You are beautiful. It does not matter if you feel like you deserve it or not. Celebrate every chance you get because you are worthy of such honor. Hold on to the fact that God's love is so amazing and being in the presence is captivating. Again, I love you unconditionally. A letter from me to my 13-year-old self.
Wow, Bobby, that is amazing. Oh my goodness. That is absolutely amazing. And you know what? It's therapeutic as well. It's so therapeutic to do that, to write a letter to yourself. Wow, that's amazing. I'm going to actually have you come on again where we just do some book reading. I'm a bookworm. I love books. So I'm gonna have to actually have you come on a segment. I gotta start that show back up again. I used to just interview authors and have them come on, and we would just go through their books. But because you got so much going on,
but
I have
some great books. I know some great authors. I got some great books we can read.
Oh my goodness!
Talk about.
Oh, and you know what else is captivating? The way you read. I love the way that you read because it makes you feel like you're actually there, you know, in that moment.
I am. I think that I am. I'm so nervous and my stomach is like turning and butterflies because this is I'm giving you me. This is me in my secret place. Like I do this work on myself. Like, and even now, you know, with the more experiences that you have, I talk to myself. This is how I talk to my adult self even now because I have to. If I can talk to the world, why not be able to talk to myself?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm just in this place where I'm being transparent and I'm just giving the information about me away freely to in hopes that as I heal, other people can heal.
And here's the thing about transparency, everybody. Transparency sets your soul free.
It does.
So, you know, if people get on you, I don't know if they get on you, Asabi, but a lot of people are just like, LadyJ, you tell too much about yourself. No, I tell you what I want to tell you. And, you know, there's a part of me that my soul is free. You know, I've actually set my soul free. And I don't have to sit back and explain anything. You know, I'm putting it out there. And my thing is this: if you want to walk around with all of my bag of problems and sins and all that kind of stuff, you go ahead and carry that bag. I ain't carrying that bag. I done dropped that off and emptied it out, let it go. I'm done. But there are people who are always Asabi who are going to be walking around holding on to your stuff. Let them hold on to it and keep on moving.
Again, I ain't mad at them. I'm not mad at them. Everybody got purpose. And it ain't for me to figure out what your purpose, but when I see you, I see you. And that's just what it is. I'm not in the business of trying to figure out people anymore because I understand people, because I understand myself. I had that mentality before. So I know what it looks like. I know what it sounds like. I know what it smells like. I'm just at a place where I can be, I learn something about myself every day. Remember, I've been in prison longer than I walked the earth. Like there's some truth in that. And it might not be enough for anybody to understand, but for me, that says a lot. To be in prison longer than you experience the community out in society. So now you saying taking me out from being conceived to the age of 18, and then from the age of 18 to the age of 22. And now not from the age of 22, from the age of 18 to now 44. And what? And you saying what? And I'm still in my right mind?
Oh, yes.
You don't see the grace? You don't see the power and the authority that God I'm saying I should not be here. Even now.
Right.
Having medical issues, but for whatever reason, God's saying, I need you to believe that my grace is sufficient because I brought you literally out of dark places. I brought you out of the valley. I brought you out of the prisons. They read about the prisons in the Bible. So why are you ashamed? Because look what came out of the prisons.
Wow.
And so I'm just looking at my life a little different. And I'm just saying, I don't care what they say or what they think. Wherever I am, I use that moment because I just empty myself and allow God to move in me. I never know what's going to come out of me. That's why I say, y'all know what y'all get? Because I don't know. Just if I go far away, just will me back in. But I'm telling you, I'm not in control.
Right.
Because I know that my life is dependent. The minute that I decide to be quiet, something is up. because I come from that. I refuse to silence myself because my healing and because my healing is dependent upon my voice. I recognize that there's a sound that is going to come out of me that's going to attach itself to somebody else's healing. God, use me. This is what surrendering look like. Surrendering don't look like judgment. It don't look like criticism. It don't look like conditional love. It looks like, God, meet me right where I am. So, and that will enable me to meet the next person where they are.
Absolutely.
And we're going to keep separating ourselves. I don't know why we keep going back to this separate. I don't know, but it's just weird. I just think people can be a bit weird. And all we have to do is have a conversation and you'll recognize that we are more alike than we are different. I assure you, we experience the same emotions. If I pinch you and I pinch myself, we both going to say, what's wrong with you?
Right. Absolutely.
We hit our funny bone. We both going to say, ain't nothing funny about hitting that bone. Nothing.
And we all got that journey got to go, and nobody escapes the journey. So we all have roads that we have to go down. Y'all listen. Wow, this has been great. And I always say the shows are from 8 to 9, but we started talking and like, I can't let it go. I gotta let them keep talking, y'all. So if you have to go and come back, watch it later on. It's on all of the social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Did I say YouTube? Yeah. So, and it will be on Instagram later on. Listen, we want to thank Asabi for coming on tonight. There's some gentlemen who are actually doing and I love that our Black men are working, so hard. There's so many of our Black men in Baltimore City who are working tirelessly to try to be an example and be that man figure in the young men's lives. And so they have an event coming up, y'all, that I really want you to try to support if you can. They're having a grown and sexy comedy show. And all of the proceeds are going to go to this particular organization. I think it's called My Father's House or something like that. I don't have it written down, but I'm going to give you the information. I don't do like advertisements and stuff like that, but there's certain things that I will advertise. I think this is a great cause because the money is going to go back into the community. We know summertime's coming up, and some of these parents may not have the resources to do what they would like to do for their children. So this group of Black men, they're going to be putting on they're not putting on the show, but they're sponsoring the show. It's called, and it's a Black, they said Black attire. So I guess you wear all black. It's a grown and sexy comedy show. They're having an after party. It's going to be on May 4th from 3 to 7 p.m. If you like to laugh, if you like to have fun, go out there. If you would like to sponsor one of the well, listen, everybody I done had on the show, they coupled up, they booed up. So if you would like to sponsor any of we had someone sponsor last month, sponsor quite a few people to go to a jazz show. So, thank you to those who call me up and say, do you know anybody that would like to go places? So if you would like to get a couple of tickets, for the couples, the people that have been on the show and for their partners, to be able to go to the comedy show on Saturday, May 4th. I thought this was on a Friday. So Saturday, May 4th from 3 to 7 p.m. I might go to that. It's at the Downtown Cultural Arts Center, 401 North Howard Street in downtown Baltimore. If you would like to sponsor somebody, let me know because I'm pretty sure you would like to go to that, wouldn't you, Asabi?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they would like that. Gift the person. And that's what we like to do on the show also is gift. Gift these people and let them know that they are loved. You got a village around you. Okay, so for that one, don't forget the book author expo that's coming up. That's going to be phenomenal. That's coming up. It's going to be another comedy show coming up, and I am a part of that one. I ain't going to be doing no comedy, but I will be giving out some free tickets. So, you know, I would like to, I'm going to sponsor some people to go to that particular comedy show, some of the people that have been on my show, just so you can go out and just have some fun and laugh. But y'all, thank you so much for joining me.
I want to do the same thing too. I want to sponsor. I know that I'm supposed to get sponsored, but I would like to pitch in and with different events coming up, and I'll just get the tickets and give them to you, and then you can do what you may. I want to be a part of that village.
Absolutely.
I want to do that.
That's what this is about. And I'm telling you, I've been doing this for like a year and a half, and the amazing things like the money that people is giving, the donations, like it's helped me to do so many things. And that's what's great about this. You know, we want to see people smile. We want to see you laugh. You know, we want you to have a good time. And so if you would like to sponsor anybody to these events, just let me know. You can DM me. You can text me to that number that was on the screen. I think, yeah, it's on the screen right now. 443-297-4753. Make sure you hit that Cash App $LadyJFlava, excuse me, because the tablet is where I communicate with a lot of people who are incarcerated. Some of these people have no family reaching out to them, which is really sad to me. And so sometimes when I'm communicating, like, you know, thank you, you know, because I don't hear from my family too much. They're not really getting any visits. So that's the purpose for the Cash App is $LadyJFlava. Asabi, thank you again for coming on. I appreciate you so much. Keep being the great and beautiful. Y'all, ain't she beautiful? No, I'm gonna tell you, prison has not taken your beauty away.
Yes. Thank you.
And so we're just going to continue to lift you up in our prayers. We wish you great things, great success. Please let me know when the book goes on sale so we can start promoting that book and you know, pushing that book. So because people do order. When we put people up here, they do order. Want to give a shout out to my brother Marco, who's still incarcerated. We want to give him a shout out. You know, bro, we still praying for you, hoping that you can come home soon. Also, Behind the Wall Mentors, all of those brothers who are doing really great things behind the wall. Sean Gardner, give a shout out to you. Man, Dr. Joshine Walls, this brother got his doctorate degree Behind the Wall. So we just wish you all great success, hoping that you'll be able to come home soon. Also want to give a shout out to Beyond the Wall Mentors, Bakari Atiba, and all the brothers who are out there working so hard to help them, to support them. I've called Bakari a few times to help me with some people that I've had to go in on the inside and see. So it's like a family, y'all, and everybody's networking. So thank you. Now I got my sister right here. When I start, because I know the women are going to start calling now, you know, like really calling. So now I got a sister I can refer them to. I ain't even ask her. I'm just saying I'm gonna refer.
Only one person be volunteering me, but yeah. No, it's cool.
You'll be a ray of
hope. I love it.
You just be a ray of hope, and you know, just you know, you give people hope, you know, and so thank you so much. Thank you to everybody that has stayed with us, and
yes, thank you.
You know, we appreciate you, the ones who called in. Thank you. Like, this show can't go on without you. Make sure you tune in. Let me see who I got on this calendar for next week. Let me wait a minute. Let me look on here real quick, because the calendar is booked. And there's so many people. Somebody called me at 7:00 telling me his story. I'm like, brother, I got to get you on the show. Like, his story is just unreal. The things that people go through. But let me look on the calendar next week. I'm looking at the clock. Sorry, y'all. This is what happens when you get old. Like, all right, so yeah. Listen, y'all. This is the 22nd. I know I'll be saying this every week. We got a power. But y'all, next week, this brother coming on, his name is Antoine Quarles. Y'all, let me tell you something. you got to tune in to listen to his story. And I actually met Antoine while I was in Annapolis, going down to like she was saying, going down, you talk to the legislators and you watching people testify and all of that for the criminal justice system. And this year I couldn't go because I lost my granddaughter, so I didn't get a chance to go down there. But I'll be back at it next year. But that's where I met Antoine at. And we had such a great conversation and we stayed in touch. And so he's going to be coming on the show next week, y'all. Tune in next week for that story. And then on the 29th, which is going to end our month out, there's a brother named William Watson. Y'all, let me tell you, again, you're going to want to tune into this show, okay? To hear William Watson's story. Like, when he sent me his bio, I was just like, I don't know. I'm gonna read it to y'all when wait till you hear it. Wait till you hear all that this man has gone through. I'm gonna give you a little sneak peek. He has had 25 arrests, okay? 25. And he went on to list some other stuff that's happened to him, and when it comes to the criminal justice system. But when I tell you this man is doing phenomenal stuff right now and that he's in demand right now, we're going to talk about it and we're going to find out why. So my name is Dr. Lady J. Y'all keep it coming. If you know anybody who would like to come on the show, hit that number 443-297-4753. Let me have a conversation with them because I got to do the interview process first. So you can't just walk up on here. I have to talk to you first. And so, but listen, if you have somebody or let me say this also, they may be on the inside. They may want to call in and talk and say something. We do that too. So just call me, let me know. Let's have a conversation and we will get it going. Asabi, I love you. God bless you. Thank you so much for being such a great inspiration on this show tonight. Y'all, this is what a Baltimore. My name is Dr. Lady J. This is WUBO Radio, where the people have the power. We are here for the people. We are here to support. We're here to love on you. And we're here to let you know that you are not alone. Join tomorrow for Joy B's show. She does a phenomenal show. I love her voice on the radio. But she has a phenomenal show that's going to be coming on tomorrow at 6 p.m. Make sure you share the show, everybody. And if you would do me a favor, find 3 people. Find somebody that needs to be inspired, especially a woman, and tell them about this woman named Asabi and let them hear her story tonight. All right, everybody, take care, be blessed, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care, Asabi.
All right.
Just wanted to let you know that the host of this show appreciates the time that you've spent with them. Now, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel so you can keep up with everything that we're doing. And most of all, thank you for tuning in to What a Baltimore online radio, where the people have the power.